All right, welcome to Jail. JP Andre Ignacio and Les, episode 4. Due to COVID restrictions, filming was delayed. It's been a minute, man. How you guys doing, man?
Good, good, good.
Good, good.
Definitely hanging in there, man. Hanging in there.
We're just gonna jump right into this. We're gonna talk about our last episode where we had our wives, significant others with us, talk about women's needs. So this episode, we're gonna talk about men's needs, and we also all four of us took this test. I'm gonna leave it on the description. We're not sponsored by this. What is it? 5lovelanguages.com. So we took that test, and we're gonna share our results and kind of just talk about it. Um, but let's jump into it. So, men, relationship when you guys first started till now, like the women talked about their needs and how it changed, and how about us? What was our needs at first, and how did it change through the decades?
Go for it, Nacho.
Well, for me, it's more like basically like just quality time, like just getting to know our significant other, just being able to know like how they tick, because I know they're gonna want to know how we tick. So like we just gotta, spend that quality time. Right now, for us, our quality time is kind of like so because we have three boys, 7, 5, and 3, and it's kind of hard to have that, quality time right now. But even during this whole COVID stuff, we try to, spend some time. But the boys are always like, around, trying to, Daddy, play with me, or Mama, but I mean, we try to make it work. We've been together 20 years, and hopefully to make another 20. So see what's up.
Damn.
About Nacho.
Is that what, like?
Yeah, well, what do you need now?
For us, it's quality time, and then for us, like our men, the lowest we got is about like receiving gifts. Like I don't really, care for gifts. Like when she always asks me, "Hey, you want something? Let me buy it. Do you need something?" Or like when it comes down to Christmas, she goes, "What do you want for Christmas?" I don't want anything. Like, but she still ends up getting me something. But I don't look forward to gifts. I mean, if I get a gift, and I get it, but it's not something that I look forward to. So.
Oh, so you're talking about your results for the love language.
Yeah. I thought that's how. Yeah. So.
Yeah, quality time, and then you don't care about gifts.
Yeah.
So I don't buy you nothing for your birthday, Nacho.
You'll probably send me a postcard or something. That's probably will.
No, I mean, for me personally, I mean, for what? I mean,
As a 20-year-old. And then
yeah, I mean, when I first got my wife back in '06, there was a 5 year difference, and back then, everyone was like 5 years, 5 years. Now, as you get older, 5 years is not really, big difference no more. But back then, I think the need was just trust. Um, for me personally, because I just got out of a like bad relationship, you know, bad relationship. So it was kind of hard for me to trust. And same thing with her. I'm pretty sure I was older, so she needed to trust me as well. So the biggest thing was trust. I mean, let's just say, what I'm saying, all of us here with beginning relationship, the physical attraction is there. That's there. We don't have to get into that, but
oh no, please do.
the physical attraction has to be there, and but it was mostly trust. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to get to know her and see if I don't get played again. And the thing is like when you come out of a bad relationship, at that time you don't know it, but it's kind of a blessing in disguise because now you know what not to look for, what to look for in a person. When you're younger, it's just whatever, right? But when you actually care about someone, you get into a bad relationship. Now you're like, okay, from this past relationship, this is what happened. Do I see any similarities, right? So so and then, I guess in the beginning it was just about trust, and of course through time, through the decade, trust is obviously built. The attraction is still there, and then through time, I think it was more of for us. It was more of a like a team. You know what I'm saying? It was more like, all right, I have my goals, you have your goals. How do we support each other? So it was like a team support type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do the things I want to do if you're always trying to pull me down. So through time, what I needed from her, which I got, was support, like of not just of dreams and goals and stuff like that. Because I'm really big on that. For those who don't really know, but I'm really big on goals and dreams and stuff like that. So I need that ride and die person, and she's always fulfilled that. So now nothing's changed. Trust is still there. The support is still there. But now, like Nacho's situation, now we have a family, two boys. So what we need, or what I need more now, is a different type of support. It's like now it's like the team is like, now we got to communicate. Hey, I got to do this. Can you take care of this kid? Hey, kind of like, what I'm saying? Like now it's more like communication. You communicate. It's still support, but it's a different type of support. Just communication and just it's y'all know it's hard having kids and try to get things done. So when one person's down, the other one's got to pick the other one up, and that's what I need from her. And she's done that. She's always done that. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm down, she picks me up, and vice versa. So.
For me, when I was in my, I don't know, I guess mid-20s, and it even shows this on the test when I took it the first time. I was more on the physical aspect of things, like you said earlier, physical attraction, yada yada yada. Like that was pretty much, if it was a percentage, it'd be like 60-70%. Like,
I just keep it.
And the first time we took the test, I honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but like when the first time I took that test, that's where I was at with it. It was that, and then like all the other stuff didn't matter to me. But that's where it was at. Fast forward, being more mature, more like having a family, things like that. It totally changes, and it changes pretty quick. Like when you have your first child, you start seeing the change. You start not caring about a lot of things that you used to care about. You're more deeper. You're not. I mean, I guess you could say you're not as shallow as before. You start just doing things that you stop caring about the outside world pretty much. Like, all right, yeah, whatever. You stay focused on what you got going on, and that's what I would say without going over my percentages yet. Is the difference between back then and now. The support's there, like you said, the trust hasn't been an issue for me anyway. And yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at as far as 25 or 26 to now.
Yeah, definitely. I think I could piggyback on what you guys said. I mean, I think starting off, like I didn't really understand the definition of actually what I wanted, because I think that when I was at that time, my wife and I, we got married in our mid-20s, but we've known each other from high school. And I think when you meet someone in high school, you meet someone, you want that like Bonnie or Clyde, ride or die, rough riders, starting to show my age now. But you're like, you want that girl to roll with you, you know what I mean? And like, that's what everyone that has, like, when you see other people in relationships, you just thought they had like that person in that corner. Like they had a person that could call you, go out to dances or the club or whatever. They had, their girl or their guy with them. And I think everyone, you just wanted that team. And I think when we were young, I think that's what we wanted. And, that's what you're striving for. Like, let's just be together. Like Andre said, if it's more physical, obviously it's a physical attraction. But that's what you're trying to build. But I think as we spend more time together, you understand like exactly what is a Bonnie and Clyde. Like, what is it, like ride or die? Like you say you love each other. And I think over time we've learned like what is true love. And I think that we needed that. Like you need to go through that phase, obviously, as an individual. And I think that helps us now. I think now as we're older, it's really like, acts of service and quality time are huge. I feel like we are a team, but then I feel like I'm still working on me and she can still work on her. And that makes us a better team. It's not like there's no sacrifice. It's like we both eat. You know what I mean? Like we're playing basketball, like you do you and I can do me and we can still jive. And I think that you start getting real in sync and then you really enjoy it. And that's why you want the quality time. Obviously you have kids. We have 3 and obviously they do take time of your day, but as the Mamba said, like you kind of embrace the process because of your team. Well, we played a lot of sports. I know the 4 of us, so I always think of sports, but like you just kind of just build that bond within your own family. That's your own legacy. Even on the worst days, I have a saying like I'd rather still be with my family and my wife, even on her worst day, because like there's so much more there. So Dre's right. Like the physical part, definitely you see that, but it's so much more than that. Like it's so much more than that, and you really understand like Bonnie and Clyde, and you really understand like your parents or your grandparents, or you see people that have been together for so many years, and then you see people that haven't been together, or they break up, and you kind of realize that they stopped working on it. Like they stop working on themselves, or they become selfish and do their own thing. They forget about the team. They forget about the success of where they come from. So I think like this whole process of me and my wife being together, like it's been a great learning experience. Like every day I feel that we grow and learn more about each other. As crazy as that sounds, because like I said, we've known each other since '98. But like it just feels like we've grown like every day, and it's a joy. So the quality time is huge, and the kids obviously are amazing. But I think you really need that. Like, I need to still be who I am and be able to work on me, and she needs to still be able to work on her. And we need to be able to have that support for each other for the betterment of the team. And I think that goes a long way in any relationship.
I like how you said, people don't work on it, because I think a lot of people get too comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's good to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? But like it's a relationship. If it needs to grow, you need to improve on things. And when you get too comfortable, you're staying still. You're standing still. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think couples through time, you still need to definitely work on it, because people change. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the same person. Y'all ain't the same people. So like, you know what I'm saying? And as people change, the relationship changes, and that's how you guys can work on it. Sometimes I think, from my perspective, I think some couples, one person changes too much and the other person can't keep up with that change of that person. And that's where like the conflict comes. And
That's true.
you know what I'm saying? So that's the whole team thing again, support thing. When one person changes, you have to accept their changes if you really, really do care about them, and kind of just take that road with them. And the young bucks don't do that no more.
You gotta grow together. Yeah, you gotta grow together for sure.
But I think too, you're right, because people don't want to be invested. Like I just think as a relationship, I kind of have that model. Like people are scared to be invested because, like you said, people come out of bad relationships and you don't want to get hurt. And for the relationship to grow, you have to be fully invested. Like you can't be 1 foot out the door. And I think that's forgotten at times. And I think you're right, Jay. I think the word work scares people. Like I tell them, I'm in a relationship and it's work. I raise my kids and it's work. And they're like, oh, it shouldn't be work. Like I think they look at that honeymoon phase, right? Like you shouldn't have to work at it. I'm like, no, like, yeah, I love my wife, I love my kids, and that's why I work at it. Like you go to the gym, you want results, you put in work. And I think that people are scared of that sometimes. They're like, it shouldn't be work. I'm like, no, but you got to embrace the process. Like it's work. Like I enjoy working with my wife. I enjoy working on my family and my kids and building wealth and happiness. And like you said, setting goals and working on setting up trips and planning stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Man, embrace that, man. That's, like, work is not bad. Like this is something I enjoy. Like,
They hear work and think that you're not happy.
This work is better than the other type of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think work is like it has like a bad reputation. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone. So I don't know. I don't know what a better word for that would that be. I mean, you have to put in the time and the work in, but like I don't know. I don't know what the word. I don't know what the word.
Just use work, bro. Just use work. I mean, just because you're working doesn't mean you're not happy. You know what I mean? Like that's like one of the main things.
That's
it's like
true.
like Les said, it takes work, and if you think about it, it really takes a lot of work. Like, you can't be the same person. You can't, and have a long relationship. Like, it's impossible. Yeah, you have to grow together. Like, it takes work. You have to work yourself. No other word to use.
Like, you got to work on yourself, because it could be your own pride. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it could be yourself that you got to work on. That's what I'm saying. Like, you still, I think that's so important. Like, that's what I really enjoy about my relationship with my wife, is that, like, we're allowed to, like, grow as individuals for the betterment of us as a team, as a family. And you have those conversations of, you know, and sometimes you need to work on your pride. Sometimes you need to work on how fast you're moving. You need to work on the things you say, the way you act. Like, and that's not bad. Like, cause I figured every time I'm working on something, I'm growing. Like, so I'm like, if I want it to grow, we got to work on the garden. Like, so that, I don't know. Like, I think my big.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Not negative.
I'm glad you brought that up. Like, we should name a section that we all individually had to work on, and I'll start.
You got what? Say again?
Name a section that we had to work on to help our relationships grow or improve. For me, it was my delivery of things. Like, sometimes I come off blunt or brash, or, you know, like not, I mean, straight deliberate, I guess you could say, but sometimes it can come off the wrong way. Actually, like probably 80% of the time, right? So at least would tell me, like, do you make me feel some type of way? When you talk to me, in my mind, I'm thinking like, well, what did I do? What did I say? and she would tell me what I would say, and I'd be like, well, that's what I meant. but it's the delivery that's pretty painful. So I had to, like, be aware. I have like a heightened level of awareness when it came to my delivery of things and what my message was and how I portray that. So that was one thing that I had to work on early in our relationship. Was my delivery of my messages when I talked to her specifically. Everyone else, I didn't care. When I talked to her, I had to like fix that and work on that and grow.
That's a good one.
That's really good.
What I had to work on.
For me, it's more. With me, it's more like I'm like, I know I don't show it, but I'm stubborn. Like, whenever, like, certain ways, or whenever, like, Janie tells me to do something, I get a little stubborn, and I just try to, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but, like, I don't know, like, sometimes I do listen, sometimes I don't, but I'm still kind of working. At this point, I'm still working on it. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm trying to get over the stubbornness where I'm just trying to be so, like, macho and stuff like that. But I mean, we talk about it, and she like Andre says too, like, the delivery. Like, sometimes she'll tell me to, like, the way you tell me things, or the way you, like, just like how, like, delivery, like Andre said too, like, you just gotta say it nicer, or say, like, I don't get it still, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still learning how to kind of deliver it. So, like, I know it's not gonna happen overnight. I know it's gonna take some time, but I mean, I gotta just work on that too, like the delivery and just my stubbornness, like how to say it.
I think hopefully she'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what I had to personally work on in the beginning of the relationship, you know, because I'm very independent. You know, I grew up independent. You know, did everything on my own. I'm always, like, trying to learn stuff on my own and stuff like that. So, in the beginning of the relationship, I had to kind of check my ego. Like, okay, I had to accept when I was wrong, right? Like that self-awareness is key. I think a lot of people don't really have that self-awareness, or they do, but they don't want to accept when they're wrong. Because human nature to always argue your point, because people don't like being wrong. So it came to a point where I'm like, okay, let me think about this first. And yeah, okay, I was wrong, so let me admit to that, right? And through time, I got better at that. I think what I'm working on now is my demeanor. Like, when things are not going my way, or I'm irritated, you can tell right away because my demeanor. And because I don't want to hurt her feelings or anybody's feelings. I think this is just me in general as a person. Like, um, I gotta work on my demeanor. Like when things are not going my way, I can't I can't let it affect me because you can see it in my face. And to me, I believe like in law of attraction. So like, if you have that bad feeling, that bad demeanor, then it's just gonna be an avalanche. Like more bad things is gonna happen to you. So I've been trying to catch myself lately. Like if something's irritating me, I stop it right away. Think of the positive thing that's going on in life in that situation. So my demeanor is not so negative. So yeah, it went from ego to just catching my demeanor. So
Yeah, I would say the same thing, man. Like the ego and pride gets in there real quick, especially for us men. Like I said, the whole team concept, like you gotta have to leave the ego and pride at the door, and it's harder. It's harder to easier said than done, I should say. So that's something I always kind of remind myself. My wife has been great. She always like brings that to my attention. Like, Les, I'm trying to help you. I'm like, and then like it helps us in the big picture and some of it's even they've helped me just like on achieving goals that I want to do or like, hey, you're being too nice, or you need to go about it with this approach. But I think just maybe as I'm not gonna say I'm machismo, but I definitely feel that if I have an idea, I fully buy into my idea, and you feel your idea is right. I'm like, this is good. I know this is right, but definitely had to check that and work on that. And I can see that even now. I still remind myself of that because checking my ego and my pride at the door and working on that has really been beneficial for me as an individual, professionally, in my career, because I use that same concept in other aspects of my life, but definitely for my relationship and where my family's growing and going. I definitely think that, but it's like every day you have to kind of check yourself on some stuff, or like because like what Drake kind of say, like sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it. You're just like, I'm being me. Like, and then I guess like Dave Chappelle said, like keeping it real gone wrong. Like everybody don't need you. Try to keep it to come off in that approach. And you're like, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just telling the truth, or I'm just coming. And it's like, nah, that's not how things work. Not on the team, at least. If you want to be single and do you, then you can go ahead and keep your pride and your ego, and you can go ahead and run that way. But that's not what life's about. That's not relationships are about. And you gain so much more by checking yourself at the door. So something I continue to work on for sure.
You touched on something that I kind of wanted to bring up. How you, like you said, we talk about our delivery, we talk about our demeanor, and we talk about checking ourselves as far as pride, etc. But when you have decisions that, because we are leaders of our family, so when you have decisions that where you have to lead the family, and you want your significant other's input, but you want to make the decision because you just, like you said, you believe in the decision in the idea that you created, right? Mm-hmm. So like, do you feel like you have to sell your significant other on it, or do you feel like you just need to have a conversation about it and then proceed, accordingly? And what is the line, or the thin line, I should say, between it being like an ego versus being like, okay, like let me rephrase that. What's the thin line between, I'm the man of this house, I make decisions myself, blah, 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 versus, hey, look, I think we need to go this route because it's beneficial for the family type of deal. And like when the significant other doesn't agree with you, how do you pursue that angle as far as like, okay, like this is for a fact, it's better for the family. What do you think? Well, like for example, for us, it was moving to Arizona. So I want to see what you guys' ideas are on that. Obviously, we came to the conclusion of moving to Arizona. So like, and I'll tell you about that road, how we got there once you guys are finished with your statements.
So it has to be like a big decision then, right? It just can't be. Okay.
Yeah. It's obviously like you want to get some groceries. That's not a tough decision. You gotta check in with nobody.
Groceries are serious, man. Groceries are real talk. You be getting the wrong groceries when you come home.
You spend how much on milk?
Buying from your house, but this is what we're supposed to be buying at the grocery store.
Just go online now. Just go Walmart.com, Les. It's all right.
Shoot, man. I mean. So I guess
you guys moved to Maui.
Yeah, I guess similar.
And also the Vegas move.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay, so we went from San Diego to Vegas. For those who don't know, that was that was an easier decision because it was just us two, and we wanted to. San Diego was just too expensive at that time, so we it wasn't really an argument. We kind of just like we agreed on it. I mean, she loved San Diego and she didn't want to leave San Diego because of her family was there, but she knew in the long run it'll be better for us as a family. When we have kids and stuff, because things in Vegas were cheaper. So fast forward to Vegas, been there for 10 years. Like we said, things change, and we've always talked about like just messing around, moving to Hawaii or just going to Hawaii for Christmas. Hawaii was we went to Maui for our honeymoon, so we love Maui. So we've always talked about coming back here to visit at least. And then with the whole COVID thing and stuff like that, what happened was she had a very close friend that got a job opportunity here, and we talked about it, we messed around about it, and we are like, hey, what if there's an opportunity for us to go there, and um, it was I don't know, man, because we both decided like we didn't really have an argument about it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a big decision, obviously, but we felt like if we wanted to do this, it now is the perfect time because our kids are still young. So it's hard when you have kids and they're in high school ready to jump them around. Your kids are gonna hate you forever if you keep jumping around. So
Mhm.
you know my oldest is 5 year old, my youngest is one, so we still can kind of move around. We kind of wanted to slow things down as far as life goes because Vegas, you guys know, man, like life in general is just it's sometimes fast paced, so we wanted to slow it down a bit and um, honestly, like these were like the biggest decisions in our relationship as far as move and fortunately, thanks to God that we've always been on the same page when it comes to that things. Um, yeah, of course, we looked at the pros and cons, and the great thing that I'm very blessed with, and I'm very thankful for is like we always meet halfway. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I mean, honestly, there was more pros and cons, so it wasn't really like no, I can't leave. I mean, Vegas was wonderful. There was nothing, Vegas, we love Vegas, but um, at this point of our lives, we felt like as a family, Hawaii was a place to be. It could change. I don't know. It's in God's hands, but I don't know, man. Like we our big decisions, we were fortunate enough to agree on. So maybe someone else has a better example.
Mine's gonna
So
sound
like for us,
crazy.
like we didn't always agree. Like we don't always agree. Me and my wife, we kind of laugh at that. Like head of household, my uncle used to always tell me like you the head, but she the neck. I turned her head, and it's just kind of always been a concept I'm always mindful of. But I think Dre, what you were saying was that what made me think and kind of piggyback what JP was just saying is that like I don't really think I compromise like when I come up with those ideas because I'm really passionate about my plans. I really had to check my pride once again because like I was like, let me take what she's saying from her perspective and let me see how I can incorporate because she's sharing something that I may not see. Like I always tell myself, like I see myself from the inside out, not from the outside in. So we are always like bouncing ideas off of each other. So when she says something or I say something, I think we're always kind of like, hold on, like we'll even get like a piece of paper, like let me write that down. Like we're so visual, like, let me put that in the plan and see. But it's like that the way at least the way I see it is I I appreciate that perspective. Like if I have a plan or a vision or a goal and someone's like, well, have you ever looked at it this way? I'm like, I'm all for it. I like to throw everything against the wall. I don't all stick. And I think me and my wife would definitely have like that relationship. And I think that goes back to the quality time because like we could stay up all night and plan goals and dreams because like I'll say something and she'll say something and we'll be like, nah, let's do this. And then like, what about this? Or we can do it quicker if we do it this way. And it's just like JP said, you're not really arguing. You feel like you're building that legacy, like the team. You're like, you kind of get excited, you know? And we love doing that kind of stuff. So I think like you have to check your pride once again, realize that they're sharing a perspective, your spouse, because that's someone you trust. You know, it's not like someone off the street. She ain't trying to hurt me or she ain't a dream killer. She ain't telling me don't do it. She just have you looked at it through this perspective? And once you look at, oh no, I never really thought about it that way. And then, okay, like how can I go about it that way? So I don't really think it's compromise. Sometimes I think when they share, we just build a better plan, and it's always better together.
Well, I'm gonna keep it real. Sometimes I would make the decisions like before and after kids. I was different. Like when it was just me and Janie, I'm like, okay, we're gonna just go here, no questions asked. So she'll like, okay, she'll kind of agree with it. But when it would come, now that we have kids, like we'll bump heads. I'm not gonna lie. Like when she say, hey, let's go do a family trip, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to. Like for what? Like, but then like she goes, come on, it's for the kids, it's for the family, at least get them out. This is pre-COVID and stuff. And then we would get like, we'll hear that we'll have disagreements here and there, and then I kind of I kind of started like hearing her point. I'm like, come on, it's for the kids. Like, don't you want them to have some memories and have something to look back on? And so like, I mean, I know we were kind of like when we discussed those, we were kind of like just kind of get away, and then I'll think about it, and then I'll call her back and talk to her. You know what? I think you're right. I had to push her. Like you said, you got to check your pride. You got to check that man pride, and kind of agree to disagree, and kind of work together to get what you guys want for both, like the family and yourselves. Just to get that time together. So I mean, now I understand more now when we talk about that. Like we still bump heads, but then we come to like an agreement. We meet in the middle. Like Les said, we meet in the middle after that. So I worked on that, more than I had with my stubbornness. So that's the thing that I need more work on. So, but compromising was a big thing for me because I thought like, I'm the head now. Like I'm like Les said, you're the head, I'm the head, and then your wife is the neck. So, you thought you made all the decisions, but growing, getting to know your partner, knowing, how they feel, you gotta just know what you need to compromise to get things, with your family and stuff.
I think it goes back to like wording, right? Because when you say compromise, it's negative. Compromise for like you're supposed to compromise, and I think we talking about the word work, or you're talking to your girl, your wife, another, and you're talking about compromising. It's kind of seen as a negative, but I mean, it's how you grow. If you, like you said, we got to get at the source and use different words. But I remember when we got married, we went to marriage counseling, and I remember like the pastor was telling me like, you're gonna be the man of the household, but you can be strong, but you gotta be so strong that there's times where you need to be weak. Like you don't always like lead like just in front, like I'm the heavy hand or I'm the voice or I'm in charge. Like it don't work that way in the marriage. So as strong as you are, you're gonna need strong enough to be weak. And I didn't really understand that, like you said, but he was really like talking about compromise, and it's not easy. Like I said, it's something you work on every day, but you see the fruits of your labor. You work on it, and you see the betterment for your family.
For the thing that, like I said earlier, I'll tell you about the move that we're doing. I had this idea probably about 2017 to move, and like I kept bringing it up like nonchalantly. Kind of like seeing basically checking her temperature. That would go. And, obviously, you guys know she shot it down. And then so as things kept going and like, I was, my job situation was cool, but it wasn't like what I wanted. I was having that itch to buy a house. She wanted a house as well. We were on the same page with that. But, we both had our fears of moving. But I was already ready to go. I was like, look, we can just make this happen. And so I would ask her, we would have these heated conversations, and I would be like, well, what's keeping you here? What is the thing that doesn't, that makes you want to stay? And, I'm expecting something deep. And it wasn't, because my mom's here. It wasn't because, because my dad's here. She said, and I quote, I don't know. Y'all know I can't deal with I don't know, right? So,
I thought you were sitting at the beach.
I need an answer, right? So like I'm like sitting here like about to freak out. I'm about to put holes in the wall, right? That ain't about to work. So we had like these crazy conversations. And then over time, she started seeing what I was seeing. We looked at houses here, and it was like, in Irvine, a townhome was like $800K. And then you have like these, you have 2 HOAs on top of your mortgage payment, on top of property taxes, and there's Melrose here. So you have basically you have another mortgage payment on top of your regular mortgage payment. So she started seeing that, and then seeing how things are, like as far as economically around us. And then she started asking me questions like, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? And I was like, yeah, exactly. So to make a long story short, she saw the light, and then she was like, look, we can do this. And I was like, all right, cool. So like, that's what I meant by like, as far as being the head of the household and the decision making, my approach and what I learned from that was you can't be, like ramming it through people. You can't just take your idea and just boom, like hit them with it. You can't do that.
You can't be direct, like you're saying. You can't direct
your delivery, right? So you have to like show the, I guess in basketball we would like look at the analytics, right? Or like show the statistics, show the stats, and pretty much that's pretty much what we did. We saw what was going on here. I remember I sent you guys that website a long time ago. Yeah, we can make like 60% less and have the same lifestyle over there that we do here. And the big city is like, it's basically like Bakersfield, about an hour away from LA. It's like from the Arizona situation. And so we still got all the opportunity that we want. We still got all that. The kids have good choices of schools. And it just made too much sense not to do it, right? So it was, again, it was the delivery. I learned that I cannot just, beat somebody over the head with the idea. And I got to like do a different approach. And I had to like basically be analytical about it for it to be an agreement. That's what my experience was.
Timing,
so you can still get.
It's all about like timing too.
Yeah. So guys thinking that like if you have like a girl that's just as stubborn as you, like it, just pay attention to your delivery, right? Don't think that you're not the head of the household. If that's something that you trip off of, it's not something that I really trip off of. But at the end of the day, we are responsible for our families. So like our decision making is very, very vital and it's key. So just make sure your delivery is something that's receptive to your significant other.
How about if you guys seen this before or been through yourself? How about if, since you're saying the head of the household and everything, how about if she comes up with an idea and it's for a big decision for the family? As a man, how do you feel about that? Like, whoa, you can't. That's a big. That's pretty big. Like, because there's men out there, right? That's like, if a woman, oh hey, I have this idea for this family. We should move here. Blah blah blah. And as a man, would you be like, whoa, like, I'm supposed to make that decision. I'm supposed to do the research. Like, why? With the whole pride thing, like. How do you guys feel about that? Or have you seen that before? Like, what kind of advice would you give to men who can't, like me? Okay, like going from San Diego to Vegas was kind of more of my decision, but going from Vegas to Hawaii was more of her decision. And that's a very big decision. That's bigger than from San Diego to Vegas. And I didn't take any offense to it. Maybe because we've been in this relationship for so long and I already know how to work as a team. But I wasn't like, no, that's too big of a decision. You can't be making that. Let's rethink this. It was more of a like, you know what, I like that decision. Let's talk about it, our pros and cons, and let's see if we can make this happen. So have you guys seen that before? Like, men is kind of like, y'all can't make that decision. You guys are women. Hey, no offense.
JP said it.
No offense.
JP said it.
Don't edit that.
No
This is live.
I'll edit this version.
I'm going to get even deeper on this, but no offense. Not to correct me if I'm wrong, but Hispanic men, and it's not just Hispanic men, but I see it more because I'm around.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Hispanic men are more like it's got to be
Machismo.
the men, yeah, the men
No,
decision. The women has to do
no,
women things and stuff like that. Like, have you seen that
no.
situation in your family before?
I I mean, to me, it's happened here with me and Janie because Janie would bring up ideas and stuff like that, and of course, like you said, the Mexican men are more machismo, but like I would shut her down like right away. I'm not gonna lie, like why? I go, why do you want to decide that for what? For what? You know, like I would question it, you know, like, and I'll shoot her down, but then later on I'll start thinking, and then like my man, like my intuition, like, oh, you gotta, just listen. You guys been together so long. Like I kind of just remind myself, like, you guys just gotta, you gotta just listen to her. Like sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't listen to her. I'll hear it. I'd go like this.
You listening, but you ain't listening.
Yeah, yeah,
You hear it, but you
and,
ain't listening.
yeah. So I'm like, I was just like, I roll my eyes. I was okay, all right, good, and then oh my god, like she'll get emotional, like, well, you don't wanna, this is not a good idea, blah blah. I'm like, well, I don't think so, and like maybe, like I'll just like do it to irritate her, basically, because it's not. No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I'll do it.
Jenny gonna catch a body one day. Watch.
Irritated.
Nacho next week, he gonna be like,
No, but then I kind of a little come to myself after we're like we're done with the topic. She's over there doing her thing, and then I'm more like just over here watching TV, and I'm just thinking. I'm like, like so I just start thinking more stuff. I'm like, you know what? Just hear her out. And then we'll just meet halfway, and then sometimes we go through with her ideas, and sometimes we don't. So all depending like on the situation, like how we talk about. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like I do shoot her down, because.
But did you shoot it down because you were a man?
Right. Or did you shoot it down because it's a horrible idea?
okay, Nacho, if your Wi-Fi go out right now.
Just act like you're frozen, dog.
Everybody right now, like,
hey, my camera goes off. I'm sorry, guys. My camera goes off.
Yeah, he's scratching his beard, he's itching.
It's probably both, because I mean, you can say in the Mexican culture, you can say they're like machismo, like they are the ones that want to make the decisions. But we gotta we gotta come to a compromise and be able to work together. So I'm learning.
Like to your credit, you know what I mean? Like you after everything was calm, you thought about it. Like there's men out there that's literally like don't even think about it, right? And I think that's what's wrong with with men in general. Just like they don't even second thing. They're just like, oh, I'm the man. Like this is my decision. Like at least you thought about it, right? And then you guys discuss whether if it was a yes or no. But yeah, there's some men out there. I see it's like.
No, I see it too. Like it's more in the older Mexican ones. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like my mom's brother-in-law, I see it a lot. But they're a lot older. But I can probably tell when he was younger too. Like what I say goes. Like you're not gonna question it. So, but I always see it like in the older. Like my dad too. My dad used to be like that. I mean, like that now, but he kind of mellowed out as he aged. So, but yeah.
I think that like I think the advice I would give men is that like sometimes you talk and treat your spouse or your significant other like the worst out of everybody. Like you think you can like talk to her or treat them a certain way. And it's like, dude, that's your wife. Like, why are you talking to her that way? Like, you can't even talk to no one else that way. You can't tell no one else because I'm the man. Like, try that when I work. Like, I don't get you nowhere else. But like, it's like when you come home, like I'm the man. I'm in charge just because. And I get it. Like I said, like it's pride. But my advice would be like, dude, like that's your wife. Like you supposed to treat her. That's the queen of the household. Like, especially if you have kids. I got to model this for my kids. I know it's different for me too because I got a daughter, and I'm like, I want my daughter to have a voice. I want her to have like a voice, as a young lady and a girl. So definitely, I would say like I check myself sometimes when I have those thoughts or those situations. Like, am I coming off in a way like this is my wife? This is supposed to be my partner, Am I dogging them out? Am I treating them wrong? And I can't treat my boss better than I treat my wife. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you treat your coworkers better than you treat your wife. Like, I just like, man, that's disrespect. Like, I'm better than that, and she deserves better than that. And so that's what advice I would give people, like other guys out there that struggle with that. But like, who else are you talking to like this? But it's kind of hard because some of them dudes still be talking to their moms and their girls like that. They put a lot of people like that. And so I'm like, no, that ain't the answer. So I know Nacho says it's kind of like the older dudes. I see it in the younger cats too. And I'm just like, man, you can't talk that way. Like I don't know where you learned them lessons, but you definitely can't be talking that way.
That's true. Dre, do you want to talk about like the whole love language and what it like if people want to take that test, like what exactly the results mean and all that stuff?
No, for sure, yeah. All right, so we're promoting this like crazy. So 5 love languages, right? It's like this. You probably hear about it on movies or TV shows or like just small talk, but pretty much describes your personality in a relationship, like what your needs are, what your wants are, and if these are met, then you can have a successful relationship, or it's more successful than the average person. And so we took these tests. We took this test, me and Lisa, or Lisa and I, and some of the other guys and their significant others. So you guys want me to go over mine first, or?
Yeah, if you can. I think.
All right, yeah, I got mine up. All right, so Lisa's, I'm gonna start with hers, all right? Got on my phone here. All right, so there's 5 different categories, so I call it 5 different love languages. The categories are a mixture of things, and hers, by 33%, number 1 was acts of service, meaning like doing things around the house, laundry, dishes, or like just things that help the household roll. Or, like, yeah, I'll keep that there. I'll keep it there. Quality time was number 2 at 23%. Obviously, quality time is spend time together, as a family or just me and her. Either or is quality time. Being present, even when you're home, it doesn't mean you're present. So, like, being present in the moment. 17% was physical touch, self-explanatory. 17% was receiving gifts as well, and 10% was words of affirmation. Lisa's kind of like, I guess you can say, alpha female. So words of affirmation didn't do her. Like, yeah, I know who I am. Like, shut up. So like these things like acts of service, something that you can see. Helping.
She needed more. The most.
Exactly.
She needed the most. Exactly. Okay.
So like for me, 33% quality time came in number 1. I don't remember that Bad Boys 1 from Martin Lawrence, like, need to get some quality time. So it's quality time, 33%. And see, like I said, I took this test a few years ago. That wasn't number 1 for me. This one was number 1 for me. 30% in second place now is physical touch. So, and yeah, obviously, like physical touch or affection, I was never that way as far as like, small affection growing up, like, hugs, kisses all the time. Like, that wasn't me. Now, fast forward to being in a family, not caring about the outside world. I want my family to be as tight as possible, So like quality time and physical touch between, obviously, quality time between us as a family and physical touch between me and Lisa, obviously, is a huge deal to me. 23% words of affirmation. Championing each other up in a relationship, to me, is pretty cool. It's not huge to me, as obviously it's 3rd place, but it's pretty cool. It lets me know that you're there, that you're paying attention. You mean like, hey, good job, like, blah blah, whatever. So that's pretty cool. Acts of service is 13% for me. Like, it's cool, but whatever. and receiving gifts was 0%. Like, I couldn't care less about gifts. So for my top 2 is quality time and physical touch. I'm good after that. Words of affirmation is a distant 3rd. Acts of service, whatever, and receiving gifts I couldn't care less about.
So go ahead.
No, I'm saying that's me in a nutshell.
He's on the Zoom.
Well, I guess I'll share mine. Well, this is Bernice's results. 33%. The first one was words of affirmation, which I'm not surprised at any of these results with her and myself. So words of affirmation. So I'm always like encouraging her, supporting her, saying things because that really does mean a lot to her. And she's always been like that, so I'm not surprised. Physical touch was her number two, 23%. Acts of service was 23%. So kind of like the same thing. Quality of time was 10%, and gifts was 10% for her. So I'm not really surprised in any of that stuff with her. For myself, quality of time, 33%. That's big on me too because I think time is our biggest asset as people because time is the only thing we don't get back. Money comes and goes, but time with the people you care about the most, I try to cherish that. So quality of time, 33% for me. 30% physical touch. Well, I'm a guy. Acts of service, 23%. That's third. That's more of like again with the whole being in a team. If I'm doing this and she already knows this needs to be done, she'll go ahead and do it. Vice versa. If the laundry if she's doing this and she's trying to do the laundry and I have free time, I'll do the laundry and fold the clothes. Like, just being in sync with the things that need to be done. That's my 23%. Words of affirmation, 13%. It's cool to hear things every once in a while, but I don't really need it. I already know where she stands. So, and gifts is 0%. I can care less about gifts. Every time she asks me or anybody asks me, what do you want for your birthday or Christmas? I said nothing. If you want to give me something, give me some money so I can trade it. Other than that, I don't want anything physical. Like, I don't need anything. I have everything. God has given me everything already. So as far as gifts, so I tell her we have this game as gifts. She's like, I have to get you something, so give me like 3 choices. So I'll tell her, go to my trading website and buy my gear. He'll either give me a shirt, a mug, or something else. So, yeah, gifts is nothing to me.
I would say the results were like Dre's. Acts of service were huge. It's huge for my wife, and she was like 33%, and quality time was 30%. Those are the top two. I guess I'm not as bad as Dre. I'm not at 70% of physical touch, but that was like it was at 36%. But quality time was right behind it at 33. So I'm balanced. I would say I'm balanced. But I think like Dre said, like I'm big on team. I'm big on building a legacy, and I'm big on showing that with my kids. So I love spending time together. I love being like affectionate with my wife. I like to give my kids hugs, celebrate their birthdays, gifts for like on the back end for both of us. But we try to give gifts to our kids or have them give gifts to others and try to teach them those morals and characters. But my wife is big on acts of service, so keeping them dishes clean, putting the kids to bed, washing the car, cutting the grass, or making sure the gardener cuts the grass. Making sure that I have those things addressed, make sure the pest guy comes when he's supposed to come. Like those things are huge. And like JP said, wasn't surprised by none of the answers, but it's still good to do it. It was good because it created more dialogue and conversation between both of us. We got a kick out of it. We got a laugh. And just kind of reminded me, I didn't need a reminder, but definitely said like, okay, what acts of service, what more can I do for her? Because I try to do that every day.
Yeah, it is fun.
For my results, for Janie, her top one was quality time was 37%, just like mine. We both scored 37% on quality time. We want to spend that quality time together. even with each other, with the family. That's what we value the most in our, being together and stuff like that. And then for second play, our second most is words of affirmation. Mine came in at 30%. Hers came in at 23%. So, like you guys said, to me, like her telling me every morning, she's telling me good morning or I love you or so I tell her too. So like it just small little small things like that. For our third one, it was a physical touch. Mine was 20%. Hers was 17%. Acts of service is 7%, and hers came up to 17%. I don't know why it's so a lot because I do a lot around the house too, though. I mean, like wash cars.
Nacho, you can't be getting mad with her results. Nacho getting upset about the
Like I do other stuff. I throw out the trash, wash dishes. Like what was showing me?
Like I nothing. I don't get nothing back.
Yeah, them numbers need to be higher. Them numbers need to be higher. Nacho getting upset.
And when it comes to receiving gifts, like we both scored the same. Like that's our last thing. Like 7% for both of us. Like we didn't really care about gifts, but like she always asks, or for Christmas or my birthday, or what do you want? And I'm like, no, I want nothing. Don't give me nothing. So, but she still ends up getting me something. But yeah, so that's kind of what we scored out in that 5 language test.
What the acts of service? That was like the fourth one for her.
Yeah, the fourth. Yeah.
Oh, that just means it's not that important to her, so you don't have to do that much things.
Oh,
that's why you don't get no response.
Don't wash the dishes.
Exactly, I'm not gonna do it no more.
They're cutting the grass in the rain for no reason. I told you to go inside, Nacho. You ain't got no business out there.
That's way back.
Hey, Les, like back in the day when my dad told me to cut the grass when it's raining, remember?
Yeah. Gotta let it go, man. Let it go. Your wife ain't worried about that.
So you want to talk about earlier, Jay? You wanted to you want to discuss finances in a relationship, right?
If we have time, I mean, we're going almost like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. You think we have? I think this is probably gonna take like a 30-minute conversation. But that should be on the next show. Let's talk about on the next about how
yeah, I think that would be good.
Yeah, how we handle our finance with our significant others, how we make it work. So stay tuned for the next show for that
one. Any homie reviews, guys? What you guys been watching lately?
I mean, it's been like 2-3 weeks since it's been on. I probably watched the games.
Hey, give the people something to watch. Come on.
Little things. Let's go. It says most of our fans are from Kern County, and that's based in Kern County. Denzel Washington.
For like 10 minutes.
What do you think about that movie? Homie review.
I still haven't watched it, so I can't comment. So I don't know.
Dude, I was thinking about it today. I know people were like trashing it, but I kind of liked it. I think people got the misconception because, like, people, like you said earlier, like I felt that way too while watching the movie. Spoiler alert. You want closure, right? But when I watched it, I realized it was more about the detectives than it was about solving the case because of what transpires, how everything unfolds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Without spoiling it, like I realized it was more about the detectives. And that's when I was like, oh, this movie's pretty good.
Yeah, that's the twist. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I'm a Denzel fan. I mean, if he wasn't on it, I don't think it'll be as good because he played that part. He plays every part good. So
yeah, no, the actors were great. All of them were like from Jared Leto. He played that role like perfectly.
Yeah.
And the young detective, I don't know his name. Excuse me, but he did a great job. And obviously Denzel's Denzel.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't watched that, check that out. I watched it on HBO Max, but the little things. Pretty.
There's a show on Netflix called Blood and Water. At least we binged it. It's like 6 episodes. and basically it's a show out of Africa. You know, there's no subtitles needed, but obviously nothing. But yeah, it's this girl. Her baby sister was taken from when they were kids. Was taken from the family, and then she goes to the school and sees this girl there, and thinks that it's her sister. So she does this like investigation, blah blah blah, and it's pretty good. It's like
Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix called Blood and Water.
Yeah, even there's another one on Netflix called Night Stalker. That was pretty cool. So
that one's crazy.
It's trippy how they get into the mind of the serial killer and all that stuff. So it's a good one to watch.
The little things is kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't watched Night Stalker. My wife watched it, but I need to get on that.
Mm.
But yeah, that Night Stalker show has you feeling some type of way afterwards.
I know Andre's big on the Godzilla versus Kong one, right?
I can't wait till that movie come out. All over that one. Justice League is next month. It's a 4-hour movie. It's not a series. I'm gonna be there for all of it.
I thought that was just an extended version, but you said it's a whole different.
Zack Snyder cut. It's a whole different movie.
They filmed that movie twice. Is that?
Well, they had the original Zack Snyder cut, and then when he had to leave because I think it was his daughter passed, something like that. He had to leave. He had to leave the movie. Joss Whedon, who did the first Avengers, jumped in and then rechanged a lot of stuff. So they already had the shoot done, almost done anyway, and they had to do a few reshoots for the Zack Snyder cut to complete it and bring it back out.
So it's going to be the same. Like there's going to be some parts that we've seen before. It just
kind of some small parts that we've seen before,
okay.
But majority of it is all Zack Snyder. So, like you're gonna see what's the dude's name? The bad guy in the original one. You're gonna see him, Steppenwolf. You're gonna see Steppenwolf in there, but you're also gonna see Darkseid.
Okay.
And for those who don't know, Darkseid killed Superman a long time ago. But yeah, anyway, he's a really he's like Thanos on steroids. But
So Nacho, keep it real. You didn't watch the Jenny Rivera documentary on Netflix?
Nah, that's past my time, man. I can't do that.
I saw that preview too. My wife wants to watch that.
Yeah, a lot of people at work are talking about it. I haven't watched it, but it was getting some love.
Hey, you watched it, Lance. That's why you brought it up.
I see it. You on Netflix top 10, so I usually have to go through there. I've been stuck on Netflix Kids personally, so I ain't have to watch two of the movies. I've been on the kids side of it, but kids taking over.
I feel you on that
Don't
one,
lie.
man. Feel you on that one.
Yeah.
But all right, well, shoot. If there's nothing else you guys want to talk about, we can cut this now. Next episode, we'll talk about the finance thing. Cause that's gonna take a while. Cause I'm sure we all have our own opinions on that and experience on that. So
stories to tell.
Yeah. But I think we're gonna give out good advice because a lot of young people they don't. I think they bypass that part, the finance part.
Yeah.
They think about trust and physical attraction, and all that stuff, right? Those are big, but they don't think about the finance part, and then a lot of younger couples have arguments because of the finance. And so I think we're going to give out some good advice for them.
For sure. Before you give it somebody, ask them how much debt they got.
Yep. Credit check.
Curious, like, how much do you owe the government?
All right, fellas. As always, appreciate the time, man. Until next time.
For sure.
All right.
Good to see you guys. Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Start commenting in the comment section so we can have you guys can make some suggestions on what we should talk about. We look at the comments. We'll go ahead and share it. Even shout you guys out if you got a good subject or a good topic.
Or if you guys have any argument of what we said, put it down. Don't be scared. We'll reply back. Don't DM us. Put it down in the comment section. If you guys have, what I'm saying? If you guys think we're wrong about certain things, specific things, hey, we're men. We'll,
Thank you.
we'll reply back. So let us know. All right, Faz. Until next time, then.
All right, then, man.
All right, peace.